Test. Today, when we are nestled against the green swell of the hills, when redwood trees point to the infinite blue of the sky, when azaleas bloom in pink, fuchsia, and coral, when wisteria offers its twined canopy, when gazebo roses explode in a fireworks of color, and sweet pea flowers add their perfume to the air. Today, we gather in the midst of all this beauty and all this loss. 28 dear friends who have died in the past year. I ask you in this service to allow yourself to feel it all: the loss, the grief, the beauty, the love. Let the words that are spoken, the songs that are sung, and especially the names that are read, touch you deeply. May you feel gratitude for those who are no longer among us. And may each of us have a renewed appreciation for the time we still have. The time we still have to be in this beautiful place. The time we still have to be together. We begin with grief. As Nicholas Wolterstorff has written, grief is testimony to the worth of the one loved. That worth abides. So I own my grief. I do not try to put it behind me, to get over it, to forget it. Every lament is a love song.
About a year and a half ago, a cousin died suddenly and unexpectedly. My thoughts today are largely inspired by the words of my dear spouse, Amy, that she documented at that time. Grief is a monster. Grief is a monster that never dies but changes shape over time. We all have moments that forever change our lives. After these moments, we forever have a before and an after. Before these moments, we were one person. And after these moments, we've become permanently changed. We all experience these moments. Sometimes these moments are just that, moments. While other times these moments are much longer periods of time. We all experience these moments in different ways, and we all respond to them in different ways. Over the past 12 months, we've all experienced these moments, and we've all responded to them in different ways. We have all grieved in different ways. We all continue to grieve in different ways. The impact of these moments never goes away. The impact of these moments changes shape over time. It often takes time to heal from these moments. As we heal, we change, and we will never be the same person again. Some say that time heals all wounds. I disagree. I don't think time heals all wounds, but it definitely changes them. At first, it may feel completely overwhelming. It may feel unbearable. We might block the pain out of our minds completely just to make it through the day, through the hour, or even just through the minute. We might be completely consumed and unable to think about anything else. We might feel nothing. We might feel foggy or sick and exhausted. We sometimes run through different scenarios in our minds. We ask ourselves a lot of questions, a lot of unanswerable questions. What happened? What could have happened? What should have happened? What will change? What will be different? How will the after be different from the before? We look at others around us. How are they functioning when I can't seem to have a clear thought, when I can hardly move? While our lives will forever be changed, the world around us remains the same. Then, over time, we might start feeling different. We might start feeling better. We get tired of crying. We've exhausted our tears. And we focus on all the stuff. We start thinking about all the stuff we need to do. We focus on the tasks to complete. For some reason, grief is always associated and accompanied with stuff to do. Grief always comes with tasks. One of those tasks, figuring out how to carry on, how to start functioning, being completely changed people when the world around us largely remains the same. Then the to-do lists come to an end and the tasks come to an end. Life around us goes back to normal, but we don't know what normal life looks like anymore. For many, this is the hardest part of grief. We know that our lives will never be the same, and that can be painful. So painful. This is when we start thinking about all the things that will never be the same. We think about how the before is gone forever, and the after will never be the same. This is grief. The grief changes shape, but it never goes away. In some respects, this shape of grief is the hardest. This shape feels like slow motion. Everyone else is back to normal. We all still don't know what normal is. Like the waves of the ocean, the grief never really goes away. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's slow. It can sometimes be very lonely here. It pushes us, it pains us, it bends us, but we don't let it break us. At the terraces of Los Gatos, as residents, families, and team members, we perhaps experience these life-altering moments of grief more frequently than others. It's not simply because of the demographics of our community, but more significantly, it's about the love that we have and that we feel for one another. As members of the TLG community, we look out for each other. We care for one another. We enjoy meals together. We laugh together. We learn together. We cry together. We grow together. And this is love. It's been said that grief is the price that we pay for love. We love, and so we grieve. A few months ago, after the passing of 3 residents in just a matter of days, I was able to spend some time with several team members of ours in the Grove. We cried together. We shared stories together. We expressed our feelings together. We experienced pain together. We embraced each other. We may have even laughed a little bit together. And this was love. And the grief was the price that we paid to allow us to experience the love we felt for each other and for those we lost. Grief is a monster. Grief is a monster that never dies but changes shape over time. Grief is a monster that we can face together.
Following are the names of that we will keep in our loving memory.
June Anderson.
George Appo.
Richard Azevedo.
Kenneth Baker. I'm sorry.
Susan Banthian.
Betty Berkshire.
Jim Blazina.
Val Bredemeyer.
Ina May Chelbe.
Charlie Ann Cobb.
Clyde Dabadie.
Betsy Doyle.
Barry Frank.
Wesley French.
Bob Hamilton.
Don Hardy.
Marion Hegeman.
Arlie Jepson.
Kathy Johnson.
Pauline Lassiter.
Claire Marino.
Bill Miller.
Gladys Owens.
Dirk Owens.
Emmy Reynolds.
Roberta Slutman.
Homer Stennis.
Larry Wong.
Seasons flee, when the heart is sings from when the truth is lost in its meaning. Behold, you find in the sea of medicine, give your longing a return. In the road, I'll stop and pray. in the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed. Rose softly singing. I'll be home.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people we have loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us.
Recently, I was in the Terraces Library and I was reading the biographies of our friends who have passed. Here's what they brought to our wonderful community. Stories of travels, love and loss, careers in industry, careers as homemakers raising children, sometimes many children. There were tales of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. They had a love of gardening, singing, knitting, reading, and playing musical instruments. They lived in other countries, other states. They came to the terraces from other countries and other states. And they found the joy of living here at the terraces. They lived during the Great Depression, World War II, and the Korean War. Some served in the military, and some became scientists, innovators, educators, engineers, doctors, nurses, administrators, musicians, real estate brokers, pilots. And they all brought their interests, their unique abilities, and their zest for life when they moved to the terraces. We are so grateful to have known them, to have shared good times and bad, celebrations, ordinary life events, all of what makes our community so wonderful, vibrant, and welcoming. We will miss them, but they are not gone, for they will always live in our hearts, in our conversations, and in our own memories. The rose is a metaphor for life. Think of this when you visit the rose garden in the summer court. I would like to share with you my favorite poem and what it means to me. I am convinced that how we are living here on earth is not the end, but only a phase of our lives. This poem means so much to me and helps me realize that our lives will continue. The poem is Rose Beyond the Wall by A.L. Frank. A rose once grew where all could see, sheltered beside a garden wall. And as the days passed swiftly by, it spread its branches straight and tall. One day, a beam of light shone through a crevice that had opened wide. The rose bent gently toward its warmth, then passed beyond to the other side. Now you who deeply feel its loss, be comforted. The rose blooms there. Its beauty even greater now, nurtured by God's own loving care.
Gentle spirit, the blessings of your being surround us like a prayer. Grateful, feel your spirit soaring. Love is shining. We'll know that you are grateful hearts. Recall your gentle spirit, the blessings of your being. Surround us like a prayer. Now feel your spirit soaring, where your love is shining. All things around us and away. All things will change. Nothing remains but the smile on your face is carrying our hearts in grace forever. All things rise and pass away. All things will change. Nothing remains but the smile on your face is carrying our hearts in grace forever. Floating in space, dancing your soul is the breeze. Lovely and warming embrace, extending your arms are the trees. You live on every new day. Your heart will remain a cedar. Loving and stays, dancing your soul in summer breeze. Lovely and warming embrace, extending your arms on the tree. You live on in every new day. Your heart will remain a cedar. And sing your soul is a breeze. Lovely and warming embrace, extending your arms on the tree. You live on every new day. Your heart will remain as cedar. We will sing our song. We will live on our breath long after you're gone. We will sing your song. You and your music live on. We will sing your song. You will live on our breath long after you're gone. We will sing your song. You and the music live on. We will sing your song. You will live on long after you're gone. We will sing your song. You and your music live on. We will sing your song. You will live on your breath long after you're gone. We will sing your song. You and your music live on.
We do not choose to be born. We do not choose our parents or siblings or our times or country of birth or the circumstances of our upbringing. We do not, most of us, choose to die or the time or conditions of our death. But within this realm of choicelessness, we do choose how we live, courageously or in cowardice, honorably or dishonorably, with purpose or adrift. We decide what is important and what is trivial. What makes us significant is what we do or refuse to do. we decide to choose. And so we give definition to our lives.
Recently, I became a subscriber to Astronomy magazine. I'm far from being an astronomer, but the articles are written in a way that I can usually understand, and I've learned a good bit about the latest advances in space research. What I especially like, however, is that the magazine keeps giving me ways to understand the vast size of the universe. I don't do too well at understanding galactic space. How can one grasp the idea of galaxies numbering in the billions? But I'm getting pretty good at understanding the size of our solar system. I'm making progress. It is now plausible to me that the planet Jupiter could hold 1,300 Earths, and that the sun could hold 1,000 Jupiters. Still, however much I try to imagine the size of the universe, one fact remains obvious. In the vastness of space, each of us is less than a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a tiny speck. And yet we humans somehow do make a difference. Even if we are each less than a speck, we are a speck that matters. As individuals, we may be limited in strength and size, but working together, we can do miraculous things. We can, for example, build a telescope, place it 1 million miles in orbit away from the Earth, and direct it to study the most distant stars. That, to me, is miraculous. The contrast between our infinite smallness and our remarkable power amazed our ancestors way back in the distant past. Thousands of years ago, a psalmist wrote of the divine, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars you have set in place, what are people that you should be mindful of them? Human beings that you should care for them. However, you have made us little lower than the angels. You adorn us with glory and honor." Glory and honor. Yes, but for such a short time. Our time on earth is so limited. We have lost so many dear friends just in the last year. Yet, like the psalmist, we should not despair. Those whom we remember today changed the world. Some made an impact that was large and widely admired. Some inspired others without even realizing it. But each played a role in the story of our community. Each played a role in the story of our common humanity. This is a service of remembrance. We recall those we are missing and mourn their absence. But in the words of the poet Arthur Guterman, who never had and lost, forlorn are they far more than you and I, who had and have. Grudge not the price we pay for love that cannot die. This is a service of renewal. Let us move on, eagerly looking forward to making the most of our remaining days. When we leave this room, let us remember that just as our loved ones matter to us and to the world, so do we matter to our loved ones and to the world. We make a difference. We can give a gentle touch, a tender kiss, an understanding word, and with that, a wounded heart may be healed. The lives of others may become a little better. And let us not forget that we have been given the privilege of being human. In this enormous universe, we were made little lower than the angels.
Shalom, my friends, shalom, my friends, shalom. Till we meet again, shalom, shalom. Shalom, my friends, shalom, my friends, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom. Till we meet again, till we meet again. Shalom. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. Again, till we meet again. Happy. Great job, Stuart.